Good evening and welcome to the campus of Honeoye Falls-Lima, where tonight we have Section 5 Class B football between the visiting Eastridge Lancers and the home Honeoye Falls-Lima Cougars. The Eastridge Lancers enter the game 3-3, while the Cougars come in with a record of 4-2. Both teams coming off a one-score loss a week ago. I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside Steve Bradley for tonight's game.
Hey, Peter, how's it going?
It's going good.
It's a perfect night, right? And the interesting thing about this matchup to me, Peter, is that these two teams played in Week 2 with HFL earning a 28-14 victory. Eastridge actually lost its first two games, won 3 straight before putting up a very impressive effort last week against Batavia, a 7-0 loss for the Lancers, but that turned heads around Section 5.
So we are just about a couple minutes away here, maybe seconds even, from HFL being announced here. In the meantime, we'll look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right. Invest right here. And Steve alluded to it, twice as nice. These two teams met in Week 2 at Eastridge, where HFL came away with a 2-score victory over the Lancers. Steve, schedule's been a little wonky this year, given only 5 teams in Class B. Tell us what the coaches had to say about playing another team twice in the regular season.
Well, it was interesting because they had different perspectives. I think both coaches, John Russ for HFL and Victor Davidson at Eastridge, acknowledge that their teams are different now. Coach Russ thought that the Week 2 game would give the Cougars confidence because it was a victory for them. And Coach Davidson said, hey, we're a different team than we were then. So maybe both teams are coming in feeling pretty good about themselves. Oh, passing fancy, number 2. This one, Peter, should be really exciting. Checking out the quarterbacks, we've got, of course, Nate Meacham for HFL. And then Benny Calixto, who's completed 59 of 98 passes for Eastridge with 921 yards, 10 touchdowns. And he's got a very good receiving core that he can go to.
And the last key for tonight's game, sectional seeding race, again, as we close out we get close to closing out the 2024 regular season. Both these teams have one more game, including tonight's contest. They are currently, as they sit tonight, and we'll show those standings later in tonight's broadcast, HFL the 2nd seed, Eastridge the 3rd seed. So this game could go a long ways in finalizing some of that seeding as we approach the playoffs in a couple weeks. So that's the Bullfinch Fund keys to the game. Bullfinch Fund, invest right here. We'll have the national anthem sung here live at HFL. We will be carrying a pre-recorded version by the Honeoye Falls-Lima Select Choir. Just waiting here for the anthem to start, and then we'll play it live on the broadcast. You can see good weather here, 53 degrees at HFL, clear skies. Probably the last great weather game of the season.
Hopefully next Friday, too.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies.
And with that, we are just about ready for kickoff. Of course, first we have the coin toss. Captains on the field for both teams approaching the Cougar hat at midfield. For HFL, captains Connor Finn, Alex Steinhoff, Harrison Hoole, and Owen Engler. And for the Lancers, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, just fans will notice that Connor Finn is on crutches. We did learn in our pregame research that unfortunately his season is over due to his injury, so the Cougars will be certainly missing him for the rest of the way.
Captains for the Lancers, Benny Calixto, number 50, Colin Amon, number 55, Ian Scheinberger, and number 52, James Dietz.
And the last two players you mentioned, Peter, I think are we don't often focus on linemen, but 52 Dietz, Coach Davidson told me, is their best two-way lineman. And we mentioned that Eastridge lost its first two games at the top of the season. They did move some players around, and one of the players that was moved was 55, Ian Schneeberger, and he has become a real force at middle linebacker. Had a huge game, I believe, last week against Batavia with 14 tackles.
So as we wait to see here, Eastridge won the toss and elected to defer, and they will be kicking off. So we'll see the
Cougar offense.
So we'll be seeing the HFL offense first. And sorry, folks, if you're dealing with some internet issues. We're receiving some messages here that our video and audio might not be coming clearly through. We'll monitor that as the game continues on. You're watching Section 5 football live on the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel.
And Peter, as we like to do, often at the coin toss, we'll run through the officials. Tonight's referee in the white hat is Bob Lockhart. The umpire, 2 weeks in a row for us, Ken Torcha. We've got the linesman, Rich Tellini. The line judge, Jeremy Perry. And the back judge tonight is Ed Goolsby.
So the Lancers have the ball teed up, and we're just about ready to get underway here. Kick is away, end-over-end kick. And the HFL player dropped it, picks up, hands off to number 9 for the Cougars. That's Keaton Yates working the far sideline. And eventually he'll be brought down at about the 30-yard line. So decent starting field position for HFL. And we'll take a look at that offensive player to watch here for the Cougars. That's wide receiver Alexander Steinhoff. He's the leading receiver here for the Cougars. You can see the stats, 14 receptions, 277 yards, 4 touchdowns.
And he averaged about 46 receiving yards per game. And on that opening kickoff, Peter, for the Cougars, nice job there just maintaining their poise. A little bit of a bobble. They had the handoff to Yates planned, and they stayed with it and got a nice starting field position as they come out with trips to the near side of the field.
So here's the first play from scrimmage for HFL. It's going to be a handoff to Hoole. Hoole straight ahead, breaks the first tackle, and he's going to be met at the 40-yard line. So a decent pickup there by the Cougars on first down. That'll give us a chance to look at the rest of this starting lineup for HFL. Here's a look at the offensive linemen. Starting lineup brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And here's the skill players for the Cougars. Mentioned a couple of them at the top of the broadcast.
Grady Goodburlett back in the lineup. He had been out for a few weeks, so nice to have him back for HFL. Same formation, Peter. They can come back with the same play.
So second and 2 for the Cougars, and they do hand right back off to Hoole. And this time, Hoole's only going to get about a yard there, so it'll bring up 3rd and short. Call it 3rd and 1 for this HFL offense.
And the only thing different there from the first play was the second is they went to the other side of the field. The Eastridge defense made a nice adjustment, and I believe Dietz was at the bottom of that pile, along with number 24, Jaden Davey. As we mentioned in our previous broadcast, too, head coach John Russ calling the offense for the Cougars this year.
So 3rd and short for HFL. Bobbled snap by Meacham. He'll have to call his own number. Rolls out, and he'll be taken down for the sack. So a big loss there on 3rd down. Nice play there by the Lancers.
Jaden Davey again, back-to-back big plays for number 24. And that play, Peter, from the start with Meacham bobbling that snap, it was blown up. There was pressure. Davey did a nice job of not letting Nate Meacham escape.
So as a result, it's going to bring up 4th and 13 for the Cougars, and they will bring the punt team on. This is Brian Finn coming on the field now for HFL. His heels will be at his own 22-yard line. Snap. Punt is away. It's a low punt. We'll see if it takes an HFL bounce, and it's going to be fielded by the Lancers. I believe that's number 5.
I think it was 4. Was it 4, Bryson Thomas?
Looks so on the return for the Lancers.
If it is Bryson Thomas, that's probably a name we'll be calling quite a bit tonight. He's their top running back as well.
And as a result, the Lancers end up with great starting field position into HFL territory at the HFL 43-yard line, 44-yard line.
A really nice job, too, by Thomas, because that ball was bouncing. He ran up on it, almost like charging a ground ball or a one-hopper in baseball, caught it on the run, and had a nice 15-yard return.
So here's the 1st and 10 play. First play from scrimmage for the Lancers. Calixto takes the handoff, or rather gives the handoff to the running back in the backfield there, and he'll pick up about 6 yards.
Chris Settles on the tackle for the Cougars.
Nice run there by Thomas. Both teams get it off to a strong start on 1st down. Cougars offense stalled a little bit. We'll see what Eastridge can do. 2nd and about 3.
That'll give us a moment to recognize the player to watch on defense for the Cougars, senior cornerback Carson Meehan. So 2nd and medium, another handoff to Thomas, and Thomas is going to get a chunk of yards, but he'll be about 2 shy of the line to gain.
And a good job there by the middle of the Cougar defense of closing that gap. Saw number 64 in there. That's August Youngstrom. Also back from injuries, playing this week. Good to see August back.
And here's the rest of that starting defensive lineup for the Cougars, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. So here's the key 3rd down play for Eastridge on their first offensive possession. Calixto calling out some pre-snap audibles. He goes with a handoff to Thomas, who goes straight ahead for a 1st down.
And nothing fancy there, Peter. The Eastridge just lined up at the line of scrimmage, went straight ahead, and Thomas gets the first down of the ball game.
Thank you.
So as you mentioned, Eastridge just running the ball.
Yeah, and they do have a balanced offense, Peter, so they get the first down, 3 straight running plays. You wonder if that's almost like we saw with Batavia a couple weeks ago, run, and then go over the top for the pass.
And another handoff to Thomas. This time he's met at the line of scrimmage by Brian Finn.
And Brian Finn playing middle linebacker, sophomore, started the season on JV. I know Coach Russ was excited about the potential that he's shown and made a really nice read there to break on the ball, cut through the line, and made a nice individual tackle.
Yeah, they've been cycling a couple of different players there at the linebacking position, just given some of the injuries. I think our starting lineup showed San Martin, Harrison Hool, and Alex Steinhoff. And it looks like Brian Finn is currently at the middle linebacker position, as here goes another handoff to Thomas, and he's going to be tackled by a gang of Cougars at the 30-yard line, so again, no gain.
No gain, and a nice job by the Cougars. The initial tackle was missed, but then they swarmed to the ball, and right there in the middle of it all was number 51. I believe that's Owen Englert. Englert, one of several seniors in the Cougar lineup here tonight on senior night. We'll talk more about that at halftime.
So 3rd and 10 for the Lancers. In HFL territory at the 30. Got to think this is probably 4-down territory. Here's a pass, and it's going to be caught at the near sideline. Maybe a gain of 4 yards, so 4th and 6 here for the Lancers.
And really a nice play by Mike Meisenthal there for the Cougars to break on the ball and not allow any extra yardage for the Eastridge receiver, who's number 1, Steven Masetta. Masetta leading Class B in receiving yards, so nice job there. 4th down at about 6, you got to go for it.
Fourth and 6. Eastridge comes to the line. Calixto to throw. Throws one up, and that's going to be caught. And good second effort there by number 2, Christian Beeson for the Lancers. He'll end up getting the first down and a new set of downs for Eastridge into the HFL red zone.
And you said it, Peter, just a great second effort. There was a nice break on the ball there by Meehan. You thought he might knock the ball down, was able to get through. Beeson makes the catch, secures it, turns away, and gets an extra 2 or 3 yards. So now 1st and 10 for Eastridge at the HFL 15-yard line. Lancers come to the line. Shotgun for Calixto. Give is to Bryson Thomas up the middle. He's churning toward the 10-yard line, and he's going to go just inside the 10, setting up about a 2nd and 4 for Eastridge as this drive continues. So Eastridge on its first drive has strung together 2 first downs. Nice balance of the run and the pass. Nice rhythm for the offense as they're heading deeper into Cougar territory. Calixto in the shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the near side of the field. He steps back, throws, it's in the air, it's caught by Masetta at the 10, where he's going to be swarmed under. Keaton Yates leads a gang of Cougar tacklers. Big group there, brings him down for a loss on the play. So third down and about 5 from the 10-yard line. Clock continues to roll here in the first quarter. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Quickly moving. Big third down here for Eastridge and for HFL. Calixto in the shotgun. Give is to Thomas off the far side. Cannot get the corner. He's going to be stopped for a short gain. Great play there by the Cougars defense led by number 2, Grady Goodburlett. Bringing up another 4th down. Second straight 4th down. Eastridge. Coming quickly to the line. Players shuffling in off the sideline. A little bit of confusion, I think, amongst the line. It's going to be a field goal. That's why it's a little bit. That's why there's confusion. New players coming in. It can be a 26-yard attempt. It is up, and it is good. Field goal good for Eastridge. Looked like it was number 1, Steven Masetta with the kick. And it is 3-0 Eastridge with 3:12 to play here in the first. Second, and he's going to be stopped at about the 18-yard line. Check that, the 21-yard line where the Cougars will begin their second possession. Peter's back after dealing with a couple of technical challenges.
Apologize, folks. We got some technical difficulties. We'll be without this scoreboard potentially till the end of the first quarter. 3:06 to go. Cougars with their second possession here. Handoff. Nope, it's rather a pass, and this is going to be incomplete. That was tipped and dangerously floating up there in the direction of number 7, Marion Bell for the Lancers.
And I think the Cougars are lucky there. Those tip balls over the middle often end up in turnovers. One of the linemen got their hands up, and then there was confusion in the middle. I think Keaton Yates ran into the umpire, kind of got thrown off of his route, and like we said, fortunate that ball found the turf.
So it sounds like we may have solved some of the technical difficulties here at HFL as far as the frame rates going. Try and solve the scoreboard between quarters as the handoff goes to Brian Finn, and he'll be tackled for a loss in the backfield.
And now that'll bring up a third down and about 13 yards. Cougars are a little bit behind the sticks right now, trying to find that offensive rhythm. Really need a play to kickstart this drive. And HFL coach John Russ in our pregame conversation talked about the physicality of Eastridge and all 11 players on the field. Lancers off to a good start so far tonight.
So here's 3rd and long for HFL. Meacham to throw. Under pressure, just kind of flips it to Hoole. Hoole's got some grass in front of him. He'll get up past the 20-yard line, but it'll still be 4th and 2 sticks. So Cougars probably got a punt here as we are hitting the 2-minute mark of the first quarter.
And that was almost really blown up before it started. Great job by the Eastridge defensive line to pressure Meacham. Did all that he could to get the ball to Hoole. Hoole gained a little bit of yardage, but there wasn't much to get there with the defense in great position.
So here's the punt for the Cougars. Finn, another low kick. And on the one hopper, that's fielded by Thomas, and he's already in HFL territory. And he's going to be met initially and still going.
What a run. What a determination. He's not done yet.
And he's refusing to go down. He's inside the 20-yard line. HFL thought they could just kind of throw their body weight into him and knock him out of bounds, but able to bounce right off that tackle. And we do potentially have a flag on the ground, a pink flag.
But if we watch Bryston Thomas here, Peter, just there's the hit near the sidelines, and I think the Cougars thought he was out of bounds. He kept going, and then he just tries to split 3 defenders, is able to get through 2, and then finally dragged down about the 26-yard line. And it is going to be a penalty here assessed to Eastridge. It's going to be marked back to the 26. So that's not really a flag. That's where he returned the ball to. So maybe that was just, like you said, a towel on the field as they reset the ball for play.
So 1st and 10 for Eastridge. Ball inside HFL territory at their 28-yard line. Calixto sends Masada in motion. Handoff goes to Thomas. He goes right up the gut, and he'll get about 6 yards on 1st down.
Thomas has been impressive early, Peter. He came into the game with 534 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns, and you can see why. An impressive player for just a sophomore.
Also like to shoot a big shout out to the Honeoye Falls Mendon-Honeoye for being here tonight, and support is always.
So we are now under a minute to play in this first quarter. Again, working through some technical difficulties. We'll hope to have everything restored by the start of the second quarter. 2nd down for the Lancers, 2nd and 3. Handoff this time goes to number 20 for the Lancers. That's Silas Van Scott.
And I think he's close, but maybe a little bit short, Peter. Silas Van Scott, a 5'11", 175-pound sophomore. They're gonna give him
the first down. So another 1st down for the Lancers. We'll see if they elect to run another play. There is about 24.1 seconds as the clock resumes after the chains get set. So they don't have to run a play here. They can just go to the end of the first quarter. Calixto with 2 running backs, 1 to each side. Collects the snap. Hands off to Thomas, and he's met in the backfield. That's number 51 for the Cougars, Owen Engler, and that'll likely be the last play of the first quarter. And with that, we will take a brief commercial timeout.
And that will end the first quarter.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right. Invest right here. And the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Boys soccer travels up to Eastridge for their final regular season game tonight. The boys defeated the Lancers earlier this month, 1-0 to cap off fall weekend a couple days ago. The girls soccer team wrapped up their regular section as we have an interception by the Cougars. Sorry to interrupt that, but this is HFL going the other way at midfield at the 40, the 30, and going out of bounds is number 3 for the Cougars. That's Mike Meisensals.
What a big play by the Cougars when they needed it the most. Eastridge looked like it was knocking on the door for a second touchdown, and Calixto puts it out there, and Meisensals is able to jump that route at about the 10-yard line and makes a very nice. So we're going to see exactly where the ball is placed here after the referees are sorting this out. But just a huge play for HFL and Mike Meisensal, the senior who had a really tough injury last year, Peter. We talked to Coach Russ about how nice it is to have him back, and he has stepped up and really done some good things for his team. It is taking a while to sort this out, though.
So we do apologize, folks. It looks like we've isolated the problem. It is something to do with our scoreboard technology. So unless we can resolve it during halftime, we'll probably have to go the rest of the game without it. But this seems to be...
Seems like the play's going to stand after all that.
Yeah, if it was after the play, maybe.
And offsetting penalties. But the crew and the chain gang and the referees... all were back deep in HFL territory. Now the Cougars are going to get the ball at the Eastridge 32. And that's going to be a play, Peter, that if HFL is able to rally and win this game, we're going to point to.
So 1st and 10 for HFL. Meacham collects the snap, and that's in and out of the hands of number 7, Holden Cam for the Cougars.
And the Cougars just need to get a couple of positive plays going. They haven't done much on offense since that first play to Harrison Houle where they gained about 7 yards. The next 6 or 7 plays have really stalled.
So 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Trips to the bottom of the screen. Meacham to throw. Screen pass here to the near side. That's number 8, Alexander Steinhoff. And he'll pick up a couple yards here.
Steinhoff with a nice job there, cutting in on that little curl screen route. Able to elude the first defender slipped, and he's able to pick up about 5 yards. And then there's Schneeberger, 55, who we talked about in the open there for the tackle for Eastridge.
So 3rd and we'll call it 4 for HFL. Meacham from the gun. Collects the snap to throw. Pump fake. Rolls to his right. He's going to run it, and he's going to be escorted out of bounds near the line to gain.
It's going to be really close, Peter. I think they're giving him the first down, though. And this is just Nate Meacham getting that more experience, seeing that there's nothing open downfield, putting the ball away and running for the first down, moving the chains, the first down of the game for the Cougars.
And that first down brought to you by HFMP. HFMP has a wide selection of locally fermented foods and vegan options to nourish a plant-based lifestyle. Check out their newly expanded selection after the game. So, first down. Quarterback run. This is Meacham straight ahead. Meacham Takes a tough hit, about maybe a yard short, though, of the line of gain, and he's a little slow to get up.
He is walking a little bit gingerly coming away from there. But obviously design run all the way. Nate Meacham takes it up the middle, gains 7 or 8 yards. They're going to give him 9, 2nd and 1. HFL, Peter, seems to be spraying the field a little bit. They're trying with the 3 receivers to one side, just maybe trying to lighten the inside of the box and get those better matchups against the Eastridge defense.
So we are 10 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Again, we are without our scoreboard technologies. Here's the handoff to Houle. And
he's going to get
actually,
the first
that's
down.
number 29. That's Benny Feinberg, the freshman for HFL.
And Feinberg runs for the first down behind the block of Houle.
That first down brought to you by HFMP. The butchers at Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Cut your meat to order. It does not get any better than that. And that was one of the players Coach Russ mentioned to us at the start of the game, looking to try and get maybe some of the more young players involved.
Wildcat
and
here
Benny
with
Feinberg,
Feinberg.
was involved last week in Wildcat. Ran for a score. He'll look to do that again on this drive as he picks up a couple.
And Feinberg was the quarterback on the JV team before being called up to the varsity. And with some of the injuries the varsity's had, he's needed to take on a larger role.
Yeah, what did Coach Russ say? He basically told the JV coach that probably wouldn't have him for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
he'll be with us now.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Brings up 2nd down, about 7.
So obviously a nice bounce-back drive here for the Cougars. That big defensive play has really kind of changed the tide.
Low snap. Feinberg able to recover. He will get close to the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Now, Peter, the question we have is: was this by design to bring Feinberg in, or is this because Meacham is shaken up?
Certainly a package that they were prepared to roll out at some point during tonight's game, but you got to think that could have been a factor. Although I believe Meacham on the last couple plays was lined up out wide. Didn't quite catch him.
And he is talking to Coach Russ right now.
And it looks like Coach Russ elects to take a timeout. This timeout brought to you by the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel has been proudly providing local community news for over 35 years, since 1989. So during this timeout, we'll take a quick break here. Seems like we still have some issues persisting, so I'll step away and try and be back by the time.
And welcome back to James Dollard Stadium at Honeoye Falls-Lima. While we were away, we missed the touchdown. Nate Meacham with a 7-yard pass to Alexander Steinhoff. The extra point kick was good. The Cougars now lead Eastridge 7-3 with 8:11 left to play here in the first half. The Cougars are getting ready to kick off. Kicking off will be number 33. That's Ezra Gathercole. So HFL capitalizing on that turnover to take the lead here with about 8 minutes left in the first half. Kick is dropped inside the 5-yard line. Far sideline, a couple of broken tackles. Out to about the 20-yard line where Eastridge will take over.
Bring it back up to about the 15-yard line, 16-yard line. First down, Lancers.
So we do apologize for missing that touchdown, but hopefully we have resolved some of the persisting issues here, so we'll be able to provide a consistent feed throughout the rest of this one. 8:03 to go here in the second quarter. As Steve mentioned, it is 7-3, HFL over the Lancers. Lancers with the ball deep inside their own territory. Worst starting field position of the night for them. As here's the handoff.
And there's Owen Englert.
And Thomas is going nowhere.
Great job by the interior, that HFL line. Englert shed his blocker and was there to shut that play down before it got started. Your thoughts, Peter? I know you've been trying to deal with some issues, but the response by the Cougars there?
Yeah, certainly made with, they took advantage of the turnover and were able to get points off of it. And I'll say that they've been able to capture some of the momentum that they just couldn't have offensively, having to punt a couple times deep inside their own territory. As here's the second down play by the Lancers, and that's going to be caught and going out of bounds after the first down is number 2 for the Lancers. That is Christian Beeson.
And Beeson, I believe, is their top receiver in terms of touchdown. He came in with 15 catches for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. So not their top receiver, but part of a top-flight receiving core.
That's good enough for the Lancers first down.
So first down for the Lancers. That's their 4th of the game.
And here's the run by Thomas, and he'll fall ahead for about 5.
So, Peter, with approaching the halfway point of the second quarter, I think this is a big drive for both teams. If HFL is able to get a stop and get another score, maybe they establish some control here. And, of course, if Eastridge is able to go down the field, retake the lead, we're kind of back where we started.
So we'll call it 2nd and 4 for the Lancers. Come out in a pistol formation. And here's the handoff to Thomas. And initially getting a hand on him was Finn in the backfield. And he will fall down and get back only to the line of scrimmage. So a nice second down play there by the HFL defense.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a blitz or if Finn read it, but he definitely filled that gap and was able to disrupt that play. And we thought, Peter, that the interior line play would really be the factor tonight because both coaches mentioned physicality of their teams. And we've kind of seen it go back and forth. I think whoever's going to prevail tonight is the team that is more consistent up front.
We've got another timeout. This time it's going to be called by the Lancers. It's their first timeout. This timeout brought to you by the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. The Sentinel is a weekly print community newspaper. Not too many print papers left in our area. They've been proud to call this area home since 1989. Can get a subscription, an annual subscription for the Sentinel, available for purchase as individual issues as well as a couple different area locations. Those newspapers, they make the perfect keepsake.
They do, for all the memories that
son or daughter
cover.
or niece or nephew or
grandson,
granddaughter.
Yep,
That's
definitely
covered. The Sentinel prides itself on covering high school athletics and other local community news.
Fill the scrapbooks, fill the fronts of refrigerators, and really keep people in touch with the community, right?
Absolutely. We are 5:57 to go here in the second quarter of play, again without our scoreboard, on-screen scoreboard. Lancers with the ball. Calixto to throw. And that's going to be caught by Thomas. And again, just second effort by Thomas. That's been the story for this Lancer offense. And he'll claw his way closer to the line to gain, but he's ultimately going to be short.
And I do think they'll move the ball back. Give Thomas credit for trying to get there, and give Alex Steinhoff credit for bringing him down before he was able to escape.
Yeah, it looks like on that replay, got close to the 38. Looks like they gave him the benefit of doubt and gave him a 39. So this is a punt formation for the Lancers. No, they're going for it. QB sneak, and Calixto's got it and more.
Yeah, he broke through that line. I thought he might even get more. He really did a nice job keeping his legs moving. He almost got lost inside that pile, Peter. You couldn't see him, and then he emerged with the ball and with a nice 6-7 yard gain.
Yeah, got to give credit to number 74, Kendrick Thompson, the tackle for the Lancers, who was kind of leading the charge there. Calixto following behind, gives the Lancers a new set of downs.
In each team so far, just 3 possessions. It's been one of those games where teams have held on to the ball for a while.
Here's the handoff. And again, the Cougars have been able to get some pressure in the backfield. This time it's number 51, Owen Englert, for the Cougars.
That's maybe the second or third time that he's been in the backfield disrupting a play. And also number 55, Chris Settles, there to wrap things up.
And it's not like they're getting clean tackles in the backfield. It's just enough to disrupt.
Right. And I think the one thing, if you're the Cougars, the third downs is the one thing you want to really focus on here and be able to get off the field.
2nd and 11. Handoff to Thomas. And Thomas, again, just second effort, and he'll end up with 6.
Boy, he's tough, isn't he? He just doesn't stop, and that's huge. You go from maybe a 2nd and 8 or 9 to 2nd or 3rd and 5, and it really puts Eastridge in a position where if they can go for it twice if they need to.
And he leads Class B in the rushing yard race. So 534 yards coming into tonight's contest, and it's pretty apparent why he's that clubhouse leader through the first 6 games.
And a young player, too, a sophomore, so there's going to be a lot of big days ahead for him.
Calixto to the pass. And he's going to won't quite go down as a sack, but he'll ultimately get back to the line of scrimmage.
Holden Cam there with the tackle.
Working his way through his progressions and just couldn't find anybody. And
he almost snuck through, though. I mean, he was one guy away from probably picking up that first down. So now 4th and 4. This was the second 4th down on this drive, maybe a third that they've gone for in the game. Big play here, Peter. 2 minutes, 45 seconds. First half is moving quickly.
Here's the throw. Calixto rolls to his right, and he's going to step up, make the man miss. He's got the first down and more. Tries to cut back inside and takes a brutal hit. So that is a Eastridge first down. And again, there's another. Is this a flag? I don't know if they're using pink flags tonight, but there is some sort of marker on the turf on the far side.
Let's see if we. Yeah.
So I guess they're using pink flags tonight. It's a block in the back against Eastridge. It'll move them back.
Spot foul, though, so it will end up being 4th down and 2 instead of 4th down and 4.
So the referees get it straightened out, and it is 4th and 2 for the Lancers.
And that nullifies a really nice run there by Calixto.
Let's see if they come back out in that quarterback sneak formation where Calixto was under center. Nope, they come out in the modified pistol. Handoff goes to Thomas, and that is a great tackle by Chris Settles, and he knows it, immediately celebrates. And that is a turnover on downs by the HFL defense.
Great job by Settles. The whole middle of the defensive line converged there. There was really nowhere for Thomas to go, and HFL gets to the stop.
So Cougars with the lead, 7-3 over the Lancers, just about 2 minutes to go in the first half. Cougars got the ball to start, so they will be kicking off at halftime. So I would expect them to try and get some points here and be aggressive with the 2 minutes. Both teams 2 timeouts.
Great chance to run the 2-minute drill.
Meacham to throw. Pump fakes. Tosses a deep one. He's got a man. That's Mike Meisensalz. He's in open space. Foot race, and he's going to be caught from behind, but it'll be first and goal for the HFL Cougars. That first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace at HFMP. 7 days of savings means every day you save. Check their website or circular for details of their daily deep discounted item.
And we mentioned, Peter, it's senior night. This is the second huge play by senior Mike Meisenthal. He had the interception on the previous drive. There he's wide open behind the defense and just puts his head down and gains an extra 20 yards. First and goal at the 2.
And that is the longest play of the night by either team.
Other than the interception return. It might be it's pretty close, right?
Longest offensive play.
Yep, that's about a 54-yard pass.
And
pass,
that play
pass and run, right?
That play took about 30 seconds off the clock. Under a minute and a half to go, Cougars will be first and goal. 2 timeouts, as we mentioned.
The clock's running. He must not have been tackled out of bounds there.
So the Cougars come out in a pistol formation. 2 running backs in the backfield. Handoff here goes to number 42, and that's a touchdown. Brian Finn finding the Meehan Architecture end zone. So the Cougars 13, Lancers 3. Brian Finn's one of the 2 guys who's had to step up with his older brother's unfortunate injury, and just kind of waltzes in there on the short touchdown run.
And I think Connor Finn had 2 touchdowns in the first. He had 1 touchdown in the first Eastridge game, 32-yard run.
And the kick is good. So Cougars 14, Eastridge 3, 1:02 to go. So the Lancers still with some time left on the board. If they can get a good return here and a couple of big plays, they can get in scoring position pretty quick.
And that's a 2-play, 59-second drive. You can't do it much better than that.
So we mentioned senior night. We will do our best to recognize both the cheerleader and football player seniors for this HFL team tonight during halftime. Cougars teeing it up here. Ezra Gathercole.
And he's pretty reliable, Peter. When they have him, that adds a dimension to this whole team.
And it was something the 2 of us noticed watching the game a week ago, where HFL ended up missing a PAT that, as a result, led the game to overtime. It was 13-13 against Greece Athena, as here's the Lancers returning this one, and it's Thomas, who's been dangerous tonight, but he'll only get up to about the 25-yard line. So the Lancers, 2 timeouts, just under a minute to go. They'll certainly have a couple of plays here.
Yeah, you probably want to see if you can do something well on the first play, and that might dictate whether you go forward or if you decide to let the clock run, because, as you mentioned, Eastridge will get the ball to start the third quarter.
And for this Cougar defense, they cannot forget about Calixto. He's been mobile tonight. When the play breaks down, he's been able to make some nice plays downfield.
And Coach Russ was very complimentary of me. He compared him to like an old school Brett Favre. He said there's not a throw that he won't try to make, and he has a lot of fun out there, and he's been fun to watch.
Here's the 1st and 10 play. Swing pass to the near side. That's number 2, Christian Beeson.
And it's number 8, Alex Steinhoff, with maybe his 3rd or 4th really big tackle so far. So the seniors are stepping up for the Cougars tonight.
And the clock's just running. Eastridge doesn't take a timeout, so that might give us an indication of how aggressive they want to get here. And they're taking quite a bit of time, and then eventually a timeout's taken.
And we mentioned Coach Davidson is in his first season as a head coach at Eastridge. He was the head coach at Wilson last season. Then he'd been on the staff at Monroe and also at UPrep, so some pretty good teams there. And he also played on some really good teams at Marshall in the 1990s, where he was a teammate of Maurice Jackson, who's now the coach at Aquinas. So great football pedigree there. He's been in Rochester a long time, and he's really wanting to develop this team and get Eastridge, which had some really powerful teams several years ago back in the middle of the title chase.
And this timeout is taken by the Lancers. It'll be about 30 seconds left in the first half. They'll have one timeout remaining. This timeout brought to you by the MHFL Sentinel. Want to give a special thanks to the Sentinel for letting Steve and I broadcast these Class B high school football games throughout the fall. It's just a ton of fun, I know, for the both of us. Love highlighting and spotlighting these players.
Season number 5 for us, Peter.
I know, it's hard to believe that we've been doing this for that long. Certainly seen a lot of good football games over the years. As the Lancers to throw, Calixto tosses it up. And going out of bounds after the catch, that's number 1, Steven Masada. So he'll stop the clock. It'll bring up a third down, though.
Third down, I wouldn't be surprised to see the ball go to Thomas because he's shown that he can be a breakaway runner. Sometimes on third and short, if teams bunch up a little bit, once you get past the first level, there's nothing but green grass, and maybe the run play here is the way that they go. He's a very explosive player. You love to see the ball in his hands.
And the way the HFL defense is playing this is they're not giving a ton of space to the wide receivers, as we have a first down for the Lancers, but then an injury for an HFL player, and he immediately went down. I believe that was Alex. Nope, that wasn't Steinhoff. That was number 3, Mike Meisensall on the far side.
Wow, and Mike's made a couple of big plays tonight. We hope that it's certainly nothing serious out there. And the player that caught that ball for Eastridge is Rashawn Giles. He's a 6'1", 255-pound freshman that's listed as a tackle. Came into the game listed as number 56 on the roster, but they moved him to tight end, so he's wearing number 40 tonight.
So this stops the clock at 21.9 seconds before halftime. The Lancers did get the first down, so it'll be 1st and 10. They're at their own 37-yard line. And like you mentioned, the player who's down right now on the field has made a couple of key plays for the HFL offense, as it looks like he at least is sitting up, and it looks like he's being helped off.
And he's jogging off. That's a great sign.
So.
And Mike had a really tough injury last year where he missed a great part of the season. I believe it was a knee injury, and he missed almost into baseball season. So he does have to come out for a play, but you can tell that he's eager to stay in the game. Yeah, Coach Russ just talked about what a dedicated and good kid he is, how hard he worked to get back, and how nice it is to have him again this season.
So 1st and 10, 20 seconds, then that's the whistle for the clock to start. Eastridge to throw to the near side, and along the sideline, that's Masada.
He's really tough on those intermediate routes there, Peter. But again, I think the Cougars are playing a defense where it's nobody behind you, right? That's the biggest thing here. Keep everything in front of you for 11 seconds. Something the Bills should have done on Monday night, by the way.
We can spend a good amount of time talking about that last play to end the half, but it's the Lancers who are trying to replicate the Jets' pre-halftime heroics, as here's a deep pass by the Lancers, and that's knocked down, but a flag is down, likely in the neighborhood of a defensive pass interference, which, keep in mind, at the high school level, that's only a 15-yard penalty. It's not a spot penalty.
Right, and if there's any doubt, you take the flag and don't let the ball get caught.
So with 3.6 seconds left in the half, got to expect.
The one thing that does, though, is move the Lancers up where maybe Calixto has a strong enough arm to get it to the end zone.
Yeah, so the Lancers were going all the way up to the spot, and then they realized that they got to let the official mark this off. It should be, into HFL territory, and it will be at their 41-yard line. So we'll see if Calixto's got the arm. With 3.6 seconds, they can't run 2 plays, so they can't try and get another 5 yards or another short yardage situation. They do have a timeout left.
3 receivers to the top. HFL rushes 3.
And Calixto steps up, heaves one up. It's going to be short of the goal line and knocked down.
Pretty good play there. That ball had a chance. And was it Meisenthal again?
We'll take another look at that. But the Lancers had a shot at this ball. Take another look. And in and out of the hands. Again, hard to tell from that replay. But that was awfully close.
It was, and we had talked about not letting the player get behind you. And the Eastridge receivers had kind of there was 3 or 4 HFL players there with the Eastridge player in the middle. But fortunately for the Cougars, they were able to knock the pass away.
So we'll take a quick commercial timeout here. At halftime, we'll try and maybe resolve some more technical difficulties that we've been having. And if time permitting, we'll try and recognize some of the seniors from this HFL team. So we'll take a quick commercial timeout and then be right back.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by the Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And the Meehan Architecture Sports Update will pick up where we got interrupted there between the quarters. Girls soccer wrapped up their regular season this past Tuesday against Pittsford Sutherland. They'll be back in action next week when the sectional playoffs begin on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the HFL girls tennis team won the Class B team sectional championship on Monday. And earlier this afternoon, the team competed in individual state qualifiers, which resulted in the doubles team for the Cougars moving on to the next round. And girls swimming and diving, they defeated Gates Chili by a score of 99-67 this past Tuesday evening. So as I mentioned before, we'll take a quick timeout. We're going to try to get our graphics working here for the second quarter. If not, then we'll have to go without. But thanks so much for working, for staying along and keeping tuned in. You're watching the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live on YouTube. have the cheerleaders?
Hey, Matt, do you have the names of the cheerleaders, too?
And we are back here at HFL. Wanted to recognize some of the seniors from the class of 2025. And there are two cheerleaders that we wanted to start with. Steve, you got the names of them?
Yep, Olivia Jacobs. Her future plans are to go to college in the South to study criminology and pre-law. Her proudest accomplishment is winning sectionals and going to states. And her advice to future cheerleaders is to live in the moment and have fun, but always work hard. And then the other one is Bianca Rivera. She plans to go to college down south and major in business. Her favorite cheerleading memory is going to nationals in Florida. She's proud of winning sectionals and going to states. And her advice is pretty similar. Always work hard and put in the effort.
So we've got a ton of football players, so we'll try our best to get through them, do maybe an abbreviated bio for each of them. But starting with the first for the Cougars, this is, I don't know if this is alphabetically, but starting with number 5, Jackson Blythe, wide receiver and defensive back. Favorite football memory was the pasta dinners with the team. Next, Owen Englert, offensive guard and defensive tackle. His favorite football memory was making Quinter rage the last 4 years as I destroyed the offensive line as a scout team defensive tackle.
Then we go to Connor Finn, who we mentioned earlier. Plays running back and defensive back. He plans to attend college or join the Army. 3-sport athlete with football, baseball, and basketball. His favorite memory is beating Batavia in the sectional semifinal last year. And his proudest accomplishment is scoring a touchdown as a freshman in a sectional game. Also, C.J. Harrison, middle linebacker. His future plans are go to college or trade school. His favorite football memory is pre-practice fridge runs and playing football in general.
Up next, Harrison Houle, running back and middle linebacker. Other sports and hobbies, academics include baseball, NHS, and being an Eagle Scout. His future plans are to go to college to study business and finance. His favorite football memory was playing right guard in youth football, hanging out with the boys in the locker room, and having fun at pasta parties. His most proud accomplishment was playing for Coach Adair, beating Batavia, and playing in the sectional final championship. Holden Cam, wide receiver, tight end, and defensive end. He's a multi-sport athlete, member of both the National and Spanish National Honor Societies. Plans to attend college and pursue a career in business. His favorite football memory was piling into 3B's van and going to the fridge before practices. His most proud accomplishment was beating undefeated Waterloo in youth football and throwing for 2 touchdowns.
And then we also have senior Matthew Kirby. He's an offensive line and defensive lineman. He also participates in track and field. His future plans are going to college to study business. His favorite football memory is hanging with the boys after school. His advice to future players, this is good advice too, listen to Ernie. And then Jerry Longthair, running back, middle linebacker. He also participates in lacrosse and skiing. His future plans are to go to college and study either automotive or business. His favorite football memory is going to the sectional final. And the accomplishment he's most proud of is beating Batavia.
Mitchell Martini, offensive line and defensive end. He plays baseball, enjoys golf, and hunting on the side. His future plans are going to college to study engineering and play baseball. Favorite memory is the pregame meals and spending time with his teammates. Most proud accomplishment of Mitchell Martini beating Batavia in the sectional semifinals last year. Carson Meehan, number 4, wide receiver and defensive back. Plays baseball, hockey, golf, and watching goose hunting videos in English with Quinn. Future plans are to go to college for architecture or golf course management. Favorite football memory, going to the sectional final, and most proud accomplishment, beating Batavia last year.
Then we have number 3, Mike Meisenzahl. He's a wide receiver and defensive back. He also plays baseball and loves to golf. He plans to go to college to study business. His favorite memory is scoring his first varsity touchdown, although he's had a couple favorite memories tonight that could surpass that. And his accomplishment that he's most proud of is being on the football team since freshman year. Also have Alessandro Pringle. He's a defensive end. He plans to go to college and go into the physical therapy field. And his favorite football memory is when Coach Russ gave him a shout-out to Primetime 585. And the accomplishment he is most proud of is the improvement I made from junior year to senior year.
Number 14, Frank Sackett, wide receiver and defensive back. Enjoys skating and music. Future plans are trade school. Favorite football memory, Boz's touchdown against Virtus last year. And his most proud accomplishment was beating Batavia. Number 56, Anthony Soso, also runs track and field. Plans to attend college for biology. Favorite football memory was playing the YMCA after wins in the locker room. Most proud accomplishment, beating Batavia in the semis last year to go to the championship.
And then we have number 8, Alex Steinhoff, a wide receiver linebacker. He also plays lacrosse and likes to golf. He plans to go to college for business. His favorite memory is beating Batavia twice during his junior year. Accomplishment he's most proud of is playing varsity as a sophomore. And his advice to future players to get in the weight room and listen to Ernie. And then we have defensive tackle and offensive guard Gabe Westowitz. Gabe is planning to go to college for machining. His favorite football memory is going to sectionals. And the accomplishment he is most proud of is beating Batavia last year in sectionals.
And last but certainly not least, number 9, Keaton Yates, slot wide receiver and safety. Other hobbies, sports, academics include working, dirt biking, and firefighting. Plans to go to college for business. Favorite football memory was running the scout team offense with Coach Deanna and running double Ds with Landon. Most proud accomplishment was beating Batavia last year at the goal line. Advice to future players, don't let Coach Wise intimidate you. He's not as scary as he seems. So as both teams come out from halftime, start to warm up, do we have the first half highlights? We're going to be missing at least one or two of them, but we can certainly show the plays we do have. So if Luke gets those queued up, we'll walk through them. And here was the interception by Mike Meisenzahl that gave the Cougars some great starting field position that they ended up capitalizing on. And we won't have that touchdown in the highlight package, but that got the Cougars on the board and gave them a 7-3 lead.
And that was here we see Nate Meacham going back to Meisenzahl over the top. This is just inside of 2 minutes. Catches the ball at the 25, angling toward the corner where he is brought down just at the sideline at the 2-yard line, setting up a 2-yard touchdown run by Brian Finn, giving the Cougars a 14-3 lead at the half.
So as you mentioned, 14-3, and it looks like we're going to do our best to try and run the scoreboard here in the second half of play. Tried our best to sort things out during halftime. If things do seem to go south again, we'll have to be without it. So Eastridge just coming out. Back on the field. They were actually a little bit later. I thought they were already out on the field. HFL has completed their halftime warm-up routine. We got about 2.5 minutes put back up on the clock. As we mentioned, Eastridge deferred, so HFL will kick off to start the second half. Steve, I know it's been kind of a wild first half up here in the booth, to say the least, but it's been an entertaining football game from what we have been able to watch.
Yeah,
what do you expect here in the second?
I think that Eastridge, is going to give the Cougars a heavy dose of number 4, Bryson Thomas, sophomore running back, been very effective on the ground, and I think that if he's effective, that'll allow Calixto to go to the air and get to those receivers. But I look for Eastridge to use the run to set up the pass. If you're the Cougars, I think you want to make a statement on defense, make an early stop, and then if you're able to score again and go up by 3 scores, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
So there we go. Score bug up on the screen. Fingers crossed it makes it through this second half of play. And while we do have a minute, we'll take a look here. Hopefully this doesn't crash everything, but here's a look at the Class B standings. We mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. Way things came into coming into tonight's game. HFL sitting at the second seed and Eastridge at the third. So a win for the Lancers could certainly cause that last week of the season to potentially mean a lot for both teams, whereas a HFL victory here tonight, I would imagine, puts the stamp on the second seed. HFL lost to Batavia 2 weeks ago. Eastridge lost to Batavia last week, although Eastridge put up quite a fight. 7-0 was the final score. One-score game.
Right, and the Cougars have already put up more points tonight than Batavia did last week, which is a little bit interesting. I think the key, though, is that for the Cougars to get that number 2 seed, it guarantees you a, for lack of a better time, first-round bye in the sectionals, and you play the semifinal game at home. So the Cougars could be setting themselves up to be in position to host the Section 5 playoff home game. That would be on, I believe, Friday, November 8th. But there's still 24 minutes of football left, Peter, and Eastridge has some big play capability. And we hear coaches say it all the time. We need to play a full 4 quarters. So I think it's been an entertaining first half, and let's see what the final 24 minutes bring us.
Yeah, I know that last play of the first half didn't make it in the highlight package, but certainly was maybe a couple fingertips away from making the highlight package as Eastridge had a valiant effort. They got the ball down the field in under a minute to have a shot at the end zone. We'll see what they do here on their first possession of the second half as we have a line drive kick by the Cougars. Going to be fielded by the Lancers. And a couple of good blocks downfield. I believe this is number 2.
Christian Beeson with a great return.
And he's going to get all the way into HFL territory at about the 42-yard line. So just what the doctor ordered. Eastridge had started multiple drives in HFL territory tonight. Only have 3 points to show. And coming out of the half, they're going to start deep into HFL territory.
All right, this is their 5th possession, and it's the 3rd one that has started in HFL territory. And this might be they've all been right about at the 40, 45-yard line. So great starting position now. It's up to see who's up to the challenge here.
So after the great return to start the second half, here's Eastridge, handoff, and that's Chris Settles. He made a big play on 4th down in the first half.
He's made 2 or 3, and that's just he beat the blocker from his defensive end position and just crashed into the middle of the field, was there to meet Thomas before he had any place to go. So Settles has had a very strong game so far. We talked. The Englert's been good. Settles has been good. Cam has made a couple of plays. Youngstrom's made a couple of plays. If you're Coach Russ, you got to like the play of your defensive line. And he said that probably the Eastridge game was the best game for HFL in terms of physicality all season long, and they're playing well there again tonight.
So they end up saying it's a loss of 1. Calixto to throw. Nice pitch and catch to the far sideline. That's Beeson again, and that's probably been his favorite target of the night.
Yeah, he does have a lot of options. It's just a little down and out. Beeson's there, makes the catch, and Cougars defense wraps him up. We're going to see about a 3rd and 4.
So 3rd and 4 for the Lancers.
And Eastridge does have a balanced offense. They haven't gone deep, but these underneath routes have been effective for them.
So they come out in a pistol formation. Calixto to throw. Has to work to his left. Jump pass. He finds number 4. That's Thomas, and he's got the first down.
So good conversion there by the Lancers. Nice patience. Calixto had to improvise a little bit as the pressure in the pocket collapsed. And then Thomas just sneaks out of the backfield, and Owen Englert had to go downfield and make the tackle.
And I know we talked about the quote from Coach Russ in the first half about Calixto just being a gunslinger, and he's gonna, if he sees something, he's not going to shy away from trying to make it work. And that's an example of making a play off script and giving his team another set of downs as Calixto keeps it himself to the far sideline, gets a first down and more. Tackled from behind inside the red zone, and he knew he maybe could have gotten some more if he could outrace that HFL defender.
But you see Eastridge building some confidence here. Now they've had the conversion, and Calixto was able to pull the ball out and not make his way down the sideline. So now inside the 15. And for Eastridge, you've been here before, only gotten a field goal at this point. Now it's time to try to get a touchdown.
So far this opening possession has gone well for Eastridge. Let's see if they can cap it off. Here's the handoff. This is Thomas, and Thomas will pick up about 4 yards.
Englert on that tackle again, got down low, was able to wrap the legs up and prevent Thomas from going even further because he had a good lead block in front of him. I believe that was Dietz that made the block. James Dietz, number 52, the guard. But Englert was able to fight through and make it 2nd and 6.
So we have a trio of wide receivers to the near side. However, it's just a handoff to Thomas. That's been the go-to for the Lancer offense. And again, he's able to just pick up a nice chunk of yards. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, pretty consistent, getting 3 or 4 yards per carry, setting up 3rd and short. And Eastridge has been able to convert the majority of these situations.
So 3rd and 1 for the Lancers. They can get a first down here, which would be a goal-to-goal situation. They are inside the HFL 10-yard line. Handoff. Quarterback keep, actually. It looked like he was initially going to hand it off to Thomas. Holds onto it, and this is going to come down to the spot.
I don't think he got there, Peter.
Indication 4th down, so 4th and 1.
And Benny Calixto, he always keeps those legs moving, and he falls forward. He just couldn't get forward enough, and Harrison Hool and Holden Cam were there to make sure that he didn't get there. So 4th, and it's a full yard, Peter.
So 4th and a full yard. Home fans trying to get alive. One of the biggest plays here of the second half. It's a handoff. And the pile's being pushed.
It's in goal at the Cougar 6. Eastridge players check the sideline to get the call. Head coach Vic Davidson is the offensive play caller. Calixto in shotgun. It's toss Thomas. And he is going to be met by a host of Cougar tacklers about the 5-yard line for a minimal gain. So good job by the Cougars. And it looks like they may even move them back a yard. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 6 as we see August Youngstrom. Big lineman check in to the middle of that HFL defense. Play call comes in from the sideline for Eastridge. We hit the 7-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. HFL leading 14-3.
2nd and 5. Calixto to throw. Rolls out to his right. Throws it. End zone. Touchdown, Lancers. The HFL defender came up to play Calixto, and instead he just lofted it in the back of the end zone.
Was that Dwayne Collins, number 3, that made that catch, Peter? We'll get a second look here. Great job of him getting outside the pocket. The defense back comes up and all alone in the end zone for the touchdown. And it is number 3. Dwayne Collins, and Collins, that's only his 10th catch of the season, Peter. 6 of them have gone for touchdowns. So he knows where to be when it's time to make a play.
So this will be a 2-point conversion for Eastridge. Lancers will try and make this a 2-point game. Calixto to throw. Again under pressure. Again rolls to his right. Circles back. Throws it up, and it's incomplete.
Finn
So
knocked it down. Nice job there by the middle linebacker.
the 2-point conversion is no good. Score stays 14-9. We'll take another look at that touchdown by the Lancers.
And Calixto really put the HFL defense in a tough spot there. The defensive back saw him coming. You needed to respect the run. He came off of his man and all alone in the back of the end zone. Nice pass by Calixto. 14-9, 6:36 to go in the third. Really like the patience that Calixto showed a couple times on that drive, just to extend the play and make the defense commit, and then he really took what was there. So actually just the perfect antidote for Eastridge coming out from halftime.
And as we mentioned, it was a much-needed touchdown. They're able to cap off that opening drive. Took a lot of time off the clock, too. Almost half the time of the third quarter before HFL will touch the ball.
So it's almost a case of shortening the game, right? You don't know at this point with 18 minutes left, if it's a key drive for HFL to get something positive going because the clock's been moving fast all night.
And a one-hopper is fielded by Yates.
Got
Yates to the near sideline with some grass, and he'll be tackled at about the 44-yard line of HFL.
Really nice patience there by Yates on that return. It looked like he was going to be stopped maybe at the 30-yard line, but he was able to break free, get to the sideline, and just kept moving. Turns, gets a little bit of a block by Holden Cam, gets that extra yard. Unable to turn the corner, but first down at the 44, you'll take that.
So it was the Lancers who got the great opening kickoff return that set up a touchdown. Now with HFL with a similar return, not quite as far as the Lancers, but they'll look to get points on this drive as the handoff goes inside to Finn, Brian Finn, that is,
right,
for about 2 yards.
And I think for HFL what you want to do is establish a little bit of an offensive rhythm here. They had that nice two-play drive at the end of the half to get the second touchdown. But just come out and establish and show that you can control the line of scrimmage and control the tempo of the game. And snatch a little bit of that momentum back from Eastridge, which had an outstanding first drive here in the third quarter.
2nd and 8. Meacham, design quarterback run, gets over midfield, so seems to be comfortable enough to run the ball.
Yep, after he took a pretty good shot in the first half, and then he's got Finn as a lead blocker, takes on the defensive back. Meacham follows up. He's about, 6'3", about 170 pounds, falls forward, puts him in 3rd and 3.
So we'll call it about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4.
This gives the Cougars options, right? A lot of times that, they can run or pass here depending on what Coach Russ feels the most comfortable with. Finn still in the backfield. Hool's getting a little bit of a break.
Finn shifts to Meacham's right, and we got looks like something in the neighborhood of a defensive encroachment. And without even the official giving a signal, the ref comes in and marks it off. So that's a first down for the Cougars, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Start your day off right with Kentucky Legends Bacon, only $2.99 per pound every Tuesday.
And we mentioned a break, right? There's a break for the Cougars. It's third and 3, and you get the free 5. You don't have to run or pass. You can just line up and snap it 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Meacham again trying to go with the hard count. Gets the call from the sideline. Here's the pass. Meacham throws it up the middle of the field, and that's intercepted. Going the other way is the Lancers. This is number 9 for the Lancers, and he's knocked out at about midfield. That's Troy Calkins.
There is a flag on the field. Meacham looking to go downfield, kind of hung that ball up towards the sideline. Nice break on it by the Eastridge defender. Stepped in front of the receiver, and a nice return here. Usually this is there's the penalty right there, I would guess, on that block. So Eastridge will have possession, but they might be moved back to about their 35-yard line.
And, Steve, you nailed it there. blocking infraction called against the Lancers. So they'll mark 15 yards off, but it is a turnover by the Cougars. That's Meacham's 4th INT of the season, I believe.
And both secondaries, we mentioned that too. That play would be critical, and both have stepped up and made good plays. It felt like the HFL offense was getting in a little bit of a rhythm. Eastridge able to come away with the turnover. Now with the ball, could take the lead with the touchdown.
So here's the handoff to Thomas, and Thomas will get maybe 2 or 3 yards there. And we've got a Eastridge player that's shaken up. Take another look at that one. This is a offensive lineman, Kendrick Thompson. He had a couple of key blocks in the first half, so he'll be looked at by trainers here. This will be a injury timeout.
Tangled up in the middle of the line there, and you hate to see that to anybody go down. And sometimes those interior line injuries, you don't always know what happened. But Thompson, a junior, 6'3", 210 pounds, as you mentioned, Peter. He's had a nice game tonight. And this is interesting, too. We're looking at Nate Meacham right after that interception. It looks like they've already got the electronic device. They're reviewing the play, so he can see where the misstep occurred and learn from it on the next play. It's amazing the advances in high school football.
Yeah, I believe they're able to watch full video replay, where at some of the higher levels of football, they can only still see snapshots of a play. As the player for the Lancers, Kendrick Thompson, able to jog off under his own power. So certainly a good sign there if you're an Eastridge fan. 2nd and 7 for the Lancers. Trying to get some points off the turnover. HFL was able to get a touchdown after their first interception. We'll see what the Lancers can do here. Calixto to throw. And that one is hit as he threw, but he was able to get it to Thomas. And Thomas is going to be maybe 4 yards shy of the first down marker.
But again, we've talked about it several times. Calixto with the patience. Wasn't the most beautiful pass you've ever seen, but Thomas was able to catch it. And again, the thing I like about him, other than the constant leg turning, is he always falls forward.
Holden Cam was the defensive end for the Cougars that got some pressure on Calixto and didn't seem to affect him too much, was able to get the ball off and at the right point. So 3rd and 3 for the Lancers. Calixto to throw. Fires. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Beeson. He's been great tonight, but couldn't secure that one.
So now it's decision time for the Lancers. 4th and 3 at their 47-yard line. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. We haven't seen them punt tonight, so we don't know what the punting game looks like.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it. This is kind of like a stolen possession, so to speak. They got the interception, so they'd actually be, if they can't convert here, they'd be giving it right back to HFL about where the ball was when they threw an interception. We'll see if they can convert tonight, or rather here. Going with the hard count is Calixto. Collects the pass to throw. Surveys the field, pump fakes, and he's going to somehow get out of a sack and then toss it, and caught for the first down. We do have a flag down.
I think it may be a face mask. I think Eastridge is going to have the first down regardless here.
This is just a great play. Fooled the camera operator, and again, not afraid to throw any pass. If he sees an opening, he'll find a way to make it happen.
And no, it's actually a hold on Eastridge. I thought that the hand of the defender got up around the quarterback's headgear, and it may have been a face mask, but now this will march the Lancers back. This second big penalty this half that's taken. The first one gave HFL a first down, and this one takes a first down away from the Lancers. And now we will see the punting game.
Yep, forced to punt here as it is 4th and we'll call it about 12, 13 yards. So back deep, I believe that's 67 with a high spiraling kick takes a nice Eastridge bounce inside the HFL 25-yard line and eventually down at the 24. So 1st and 10 for the HFL offense. Eastridge unable to capitalize on the interception.
Right, and just a little bit unfortunate there for Eastridge with that holding call. They had made a great play on 4th down to extend the drive. Gets taken away. Now the burden shifts to the HFL offense and to the Eastridge defense. And Peter, this is a critical drive. I think that if the Cougars are able to get a touchdown here, that would really put the pressure on Eastridge with maybe only two more possessions left in the game.
So Benny Feinberg in the Wildcat. Handoff goes to Yates to the near sideline. Yates, not a whole lot of room to operate, and he'll get maybe a yard and a half on that 1st down carry.
And really, the Eastridge defense has done a good job of limiting the Cougars' run game. Other than the first play from scrimmage there and a couple of designed runs for Nate Meacham, HFL really has not established the ground game with its running backs tonight, so credit to Eastridge for that.
Certainly, you mentioned the only success has also been limited between the tackles. Anything outside towards the numbers running the ball, Eastridge has been able to swarm to. Here's a pass by Meacham. This is to number 7, Holden Cam. He's got the 1st down. Ball comes out. Ball is out. And they're going to say he was down. Eastridge thought the ball came out before he was stopped.
And we'll get another look, but that Schneeberger there again in the middle of that defense, 55. He comes over, the linebacker. There's Cam. And it
looks close.
It does look close. The call's got to be made by the official on the sideline. It's his call. He had the best look at it, and he says that HFL was down and will retain possession.
And that's an HFL 1st down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace, True Blue local for over 40 years. Meacham again to pass. Throws a screen pass to Yates. Yates straight ahead. He's got the 1st down and then cut down. Ball might have come loose there as well. But another 1st down for the Cougars. Again, brought to you by HFMP. Haddock delivered from the Boston Fish Pier every week, making HFMP's Friday Fish Fry with 2 sides and fries all the more delicious.
And thank goodness this isn't the NFL, Peter, because the one penalty we've been seeing all year is the lineman downfield, and it looked like HFL may have had a couple of blockers downfield ahead of the receiver, but no flag. They'll take it. 1st down. Cougars keep marching.
And we are about just under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Again with the Wildcat formation, this is Feinberg. Feinberg will be met at the line. No gain, maybe a loss of 1.
And that's Thomas, the running back we've been talking about all night. He's also the 2nd leading tackler on the team from his linebacker position. Really nice job of scraping off the blocker and filling that hole.
So they do mark it as a tackle for loss by Thomas. Bring up 2nd and 11. We're right about at 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Cougars probably have to run at least one more play.
And Thomas did come into the game with 8 tackles for a loss, so there's number 9. He's well on his way to double figures in that category.
They have Hool as the up back. And here's the handoff. Handoff is to Feinberg. And Feinberg will get back to the original spot from 1st down, so he'll get a yard, and that'll be the quarter. So the end of the 3rd quarter here at HFL. Cougars leading the Lancers 14-9. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace, we're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. The Meehan Architecture Sports Update girls volleyball has 3 matches next week to close out the regular season. They will face Eastridge, Spencerport, and Victor. So start of the fourth quarter here at HFL. 12 minutes on the clock. Cougars with the ball, 3rd and 11. And Meacham to throw over the middle. Got a man, caught, and that's a first down. Holden Cam receives that one. We do have some whistles here. It looks like we've got a hold against the HFL.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer. It looked like initially he gave a holding indication.
So
unless there was 2 flags.
So a couple things to sort out here, Peter, but that's 2 big catches by Holden Cam here in the second half. They're moving the chains. That's going to be a huge play for HFL. Not only did they get more than the 11 yards for the first down, they got 15 more, and now they're looking at first down at the 17.
First down for the Cougars, brought to you by HFMP. They bake sub rolls from scratch every day so that every bite of an HFMP submarine sandwich is bursting with flavor.
And again, like the penalties are starting to become a bit of the storyline here tonight too.
Here's some pre-snap motion. That's Yates. Meacham to run, straight up the gut, spins around, and he'll maybe get 4 or 5 yards on that one.
Positive play for the Cougars. I think that, if you're Coach Russ, you'll take that 4 or 5 yards every time. If you can grind off a couple of minutes here from the clock and score another touchdown to go up by 2 scores with about 9 minutes left, you got to like your position if you're HFL. Still some work to be done, but this would put them in a great spot.
Yeah, 2nd and 6 at the 14-yard line. Cougars can get another set of downs inside the 10-yard line if they're able to convert here.
And they are starting to develop that rhythm, right? With Cam, the tight end, a little bit. The run hasn't been big, but they've had to respect it, and then Nate Meacham's made some plays with his arm.
Snap, handoff. This is Finn. Finn tries to churn out a couple extra yards, but not going to be much.
So this is interesting, too. I believe we're in field goal range. So HFL has a 3rd and probably 4. And, if they're unable to convert, it could be an interesting decision for Coach Russ because a field goal would give them an 8-point lead.
Yeah, Eastridge elected to go with the 2-point attempt when they had scored in the 3rd quarter. HFL denied that to keep it at a 5-point spread. 3rd and 4 for the Cougars. 3 receivers to the near sideline. Meacham collects the snap to throw. Lofts it. And incomplete. And a nice play there. I believe that was number 8, Miles Hellman.
He broke really well on the ball there. It looked like Goodberlate was open over the middle. And maybe it was number 9.
That was number 9, yeah, Troy Calkins.
And he had already had the interception earlier in the game. And here we see the field goal team is on for the Cougars.
And this answers your question, Steve. Ezra is 1 for 2 as a field goal kicker. His longest and his only was 37 yards, and it was week 1 against E.R. Gananda.
So this will be 29 yards.
Hold, snap, kick away. Got plenty of leg, and it's good.
That's good.
So Cougars, 3 points more, makes it 17-9. 10:03 to go in the 4th quarter.
And that would have been good probably from 40 yards, Peter. An impressive field goal there for Ezra.
And again, to talk about, we kind of couldn't complete the thought, but last week they were without Ezra. He plays travel soccer, so that's his main sport, unable to be out for the Cougars when they played Greece Athena, and that's a different game if he's there. There was a couple opportunities in the game where maybe they could have kicked a field goal, but had to go for it. They had another kicker having to do the point
also unable
afters.
to score in overtime too, right? So we haven't talked much about that game because this game has been so good, but the Cougars had possession first in overtime, unable to get points, and then Greece Athena scores on a 4th and 10 from the 20-yard line. And Coach Russ thought his team responded. They had a good talk after the game. And no lingering effects tonight. They're all locked in on Eastridge and trying to put this game away over the last 10 minutes.
And it's always tough. That Greece Athena team is a Class A school. It's always tough to have to play a classification up for any team. So Lancers will get the ball back here. Again, it's still only a one-score game, but it's 8 points instead of 5. End-over-end kick, fielded by the Lancers. Coming towards the near side is Beeson.
He's got an edge there, Peter.
And Beeson up past the 40, tries to cut back in, still on his feet inside the 40. It's a foot race, and he's tackled at the 30 by Keaton Yates with the touchdown-saving tackle.
Those were the 3 words that were trying to come out of my mouth, too. Touchdown-saving tackle. First of all, just a fabulous return by Beeson. Takes it his zone 10. Reads his blocks
We
pretty
do
well.
have some flags down, Steve.
Is it the block right? Oh, it's the block. The flag is at about the 40. Ezra tried to tackle. Beeson ran through that, but credit the HFL coverage team for staying with that play all the way.
And it looks like this one's coming back, unfortunately, for the Lancers. That was a great return. Great awareness on the sideline not to step out, to cut back in. I thought he was going to win that foot race, but if he did, it wouldn't have counted anyways, as the penalty will result in the Lancers starting with the ball at their own 21-yard line.
That's 4 second-half penalties on Eastridge for a total of 45 yards. And sometimes it's not always what the penalty is, it's when it happens. And those have been penalties that have taken away first downs, gave HFL a first down, and then this penalty here cost them a great deal of field position.
Here's the handoff. That's Thomas. So Thomas will pick up a couple, and we do have an HFL defender who is down on the ground. Take another look at that run. That was 51, Owen Englert, who was trying to make the play in the backfield, who's grabbing his lowered leg off to the side of that replay.
You hate to see that. Owen, obviously, senior, has had a great season and a great game tonight, too. The battle in the middle of the field has been very, very, very hard fought, and by both sides, and both lines have had their share of victories from play to play, and let's just hope that Owen's okay here.
Yeah, we've had a couple of players go down earlier in this one. I think all of them have been able to get off the field and ultimately come back into the game. So, again, hoping this is nothing serious. But it does stop the clock, give both teams to catch their breath here, as we are 9 minutes and 33 seconds away from the end of the fourth quarter.
And Owen is coming off under his own power. Jogging, which you like to see, so hopefully he'll get checked out and be ready to go.
So 2nd and 5 for Eastridge. Handoff, Thomas, straight ahead, first down and more.
And a good tackle there. We've talked about the touchdown-saving tackles again and again. It's Keaton Yates at the bottom of the pile. Yates is making some big plays on the back end of that defense to prevent even bigger plays from happening.
And it was Hoole who was holding on to that T-shirt for dear life, trying to slow down Thomas. So new set of downs for Eastridge after the conversion there. Here's another handoff right back to Thomas. Thomas is stood up after a gain of 2 or 3 yards.
The middle of the defense was very strong on that play. Englert back in the game was able to beat his block, and then the linebackers are there to do their job. You see Hoole and Finn and Yates, names we've been calling all night, making another play.
And I saw my eye caught Hoole running immediately to the sideline. He must have had some sort of intel to share with the coaches.
Either that or maybe an equipment thing because he's right back out there.
High snap, collected by Calixto. Right back to Thomas. And Thomas again, 2 yards.
And it's the same 3 players at the bottom of the pile. Englert, Finn, Steinhoff, Yates. Got to give a shout out to Finn, right? Is a sophomore coming in playing middle linebacker. That's a tough spot in this defense. Big game. Has really had a strong accounting for himself.
So 3rd and 5. Here's the throw. It's going to be caught at midfield. That's Beeson, and they'll end up spotting him closer to the 49-yard line, but in either case, that'll be enough for the Eastridge first down.
Nice job of Beeson getting where he needed to be, making the catch after a disappointing play on the last drive, and a strong tackle, too, by Meehan. That was a good play for both teams.
Now, I thought they're okay. Initially, there was some indication that he had got it, and then the chain gang was maybe going to come out to measure. I thought he was closer to the 50. The ball ultimately gets spotted at the 49.5, but they give him the first down.
Yeah, and I think they got that call right. It looked like he knew exactly where he needed to get the first down, made the catch.
And Calixto comes under center. Have seen that a couple times tonight, and here's just a handoff to Thomas, and he'll get 4 yards, but maybe file that one away because maybe Calixto pulls it on a bootleg, leads into a pass. You can see he was trying to fake some defenders out.
And just make sure that you don't lose contain on that side because there's a lot of room down that sideline.
Yeah, and they've just been going with a steady dose of Thomas here on this drive as we approach the halfway point of the 4th quarter. Eastridge trails the Cougars by 8, so it's a 1-score game. Lancers now into HFL territory. Here's a pass to Thomas, and Thomas is going to get another couple yards, but he'll be short, so it'll be another 3rd down for the Lancer offense.
And we've talked about that pocket presence of Calixto. He waits, and Thomas has been very good about knowing when to leave and give himself an outlet. Eastridge looking good.
And he's been able to keep his eyes downfield, Calixto, and just finding the outlets that become available to him as a play develops. As he is again under center, Cougars load up the box, hand off to Thomas, and he's not going to get it. He's going to be about a yard short, so we'll have a 4th down situation here for the Lancer offense.
Strong stand by the defense. Englert got in there. The Lancers ran to the other side, and HFL was there ready. So I'd say it's about 4th, and it's almost a true yard there, Peter. The ball spotted at the 42, the chain at the 41.
There was a 4th and short in the 3rd quarter, or earlier in the game, that was very similar, about the same yard line that Lancers were going the other way. We'll see if they can convert this one under center. Calixto keeps it, makes a first tackler miss, and there's a swarm of Cougars that have him and drive him backwards.
Just as you predicted a few plays ago, you thought maybe Calixto might try that. We get a late flag. Probably going to be a little bit of an exuberant celebration, but Cam is there to slow it down. Then you've got Steinhoff, and you've got so many players at the bottom of the pile, you can't tell who's there. Owen Englert should have known it, right? If the game is had tonight.
Glad to see him back out on the field. And it looks like the quarterback, Calixto, took exception to being driven back. I think that penalty might have ultimately been on him. Had some words, didn't like the Cougar defense throwing him down after his forward progress was clearly stopped. So moves the ball into Lancer territory, and the Cougars will have the ball 1st and 10 at the Eastridge 42-yard line. So change in possession, another turnover on downs by this HFL defense. They've done well tonight.
They have done well, and when they needed to. Eastridge has 13 first downs to 7 for HFL, but the HFL defense has been there when it's needed to be.
Cougars try and maybe
Go Wildcat.
put this one away with a trick play.
Still
Meacham
alive.
to throw, fires it, and that is
Intercepted, I think.
Is that intercepted? It is.
What a play by the Eastridge defense.
The Lancers come right back and make a great play. You can see Meacham was trying to do the trick pass play. He was keeping his eyes downfield, trying to throw to Yates, and great tip drill and able to stick with it. I think that was
It's either 8 or 9, and if it's
9, that's his second.
interception of the night and third huge breakup.
So kind of expected, not surprisingly, the Cougars try and go with the big play after the turnover on downs. That backfires. And here's Calixto, tosses it up. Just some backyard football. This is Thomas down the middle. There's a safety back deep. He'll have to make him miss, and he does. And he's going to be tackled at about the 2-yard line.
Wow, what in a sequence of plays. HFL tried to improvise and go for the long touchdown. Interception, the first play back. We've seen Calixto do this all night. Thomas is his safety valve. He avoids the sack. Thomas just sneaks out. Calixto gets it over the defense, and then it's just Thomas's talent taking the ball down the field.
So 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Calixto making sure he's got a legal formation, calls his own number, and he's in. Touchdown, Lancers.
And Calixto deserved that for the way he's played tonight. Really, he deserves to get in the end zone. He's been a leader for his team, and that was almost like kind of the Josh Allen where you do the tush push up the middle. He just went off guard, and he was in easy.
Yeah, and again, I don't like to compare players at the high school level to anybody, but I just got to think that these players of this generation, watching some of the guys on Sundays, the way that they play ball, you know, that play by Calixto, it just seemed to emulate some of those players in the NFL, and just always trying to find an outlet, always trying to find a pass, and he's done it a couple times tonight, and obviously the big one there sets up the 1-yard touchdown as Eastridge comes out.
Huge conversion.
To try and tie the game. The 2-point conversion here for the Lancers. Calixto from the gun, and we've got a stoppage.
I think they're a little pre-snap
A false
movement on
start.
the offense. Yep.
So a costly penalty for Eastridge in the second half. That's been a bit of a storyline here tonight. Just inopportune mistakes.
Yeah, the conversion will go from 2 yards to 7 yards.
I thought maybe HFL was calling a timeout just to see, you know, this is obviously 4:18 to go in the fourth quarter, a lot of time, but certainly this play will certainly dictate the direction headed down the stretch here. Calixto to throw, steps up in the pocket, going to run straight ahead, makes a man miss, dives, and he's got it. Calixto converts the 2-point conversion, the rare octopus play by Calixto, getting all 8 points for the Lancers, and we got a tie game here at HFL now.
Wow. And just like 3 plays in a row where Calixto has just really stepped up and made a big play for his team. We see here the long pass. It's not a long pass. It's the catch and run to Thomas where he almost does kind of the flip. Once Thomas gets by the tackler at the 50, it's only a question, is he going to score or not? And Goodberlet's able to slow him down. Steinhoff with the tackle at the 1-yard line, setting up the sneak. And then this 2-point conversion play, Peter, it's just there's a lot happening here. Good rush by the Cougars. Calixto feels the pressure, breaks a tackle at the 5-yard line, breaks another tackle at the goal line, dives in, and the ball comes out after he's crossed the plane, so it didn't matter.
And all day, I was just thinking in my head, this is going to be a good one. And boy, have we had a good game so far tonight. 17-17, 4:18 to go. And we mentioned HFL lost last week in overtime. Overtime, not that common at the high school level. Still Good amount of time to go here before we get to some free football, as we have just a low squib kick fielded by the Cougars. This is Frank Sackett. Sackett gets past the 30-yard line, maybe to the 33-yard line.
And so for the Cougars, this is just going to test their mettle a little bit. They seem to be in control of the game. Turnover happens, big play by Eastridge. Eastridge is able to tie. But with 4:12 is plenty of time. We know that the Cougars can rely on their kicker if they need to. But I think that this is a chance to run that 4-minute drill. Want to score late, end the game, walk off with a victory.
Cougars have had, I believe, 2 offensive possessions in this fourth quarter, both of which have ended in Meacham completing a pass to the other team. We'll see if the Cougars can try and regroup offensively. Here's Brian Finn with a lot of room in front of him. He's got a first down. That's a Cougar first down brought to you by HFMP. If you're looking for the brands you grew up with, HFMP has them.
And there's the running game that we haven't seen in the middle part of the game. Nice job by Finn starting the drive off with a 12-yard run. Clock's moving. Cougars have a fresh set of downs approaching midfield.
So 1st and 10 for HFL. Hand off to Finn. Finn to midfield. He'll pick up about 6 yards for the Cougars.
Another good job by the offensive line. He had a nice crease on that left side, able to get 6 yards, get the ball to midfield. Clock will probably be at about 3 minutes when the next snap occurs.
Back-to-back good running plays. We gave the credit to the Eastridge defense a couple series ago, but it's the HFL offensive line that's been getting a good push the last 2. Keaton Yates goes in motion to the far side. Hand off to Finn. Finn, first down, inside the Eastridge 45-yard line. That first down brought to you by HFMP. Looking for a quick meal on a Tuesday night? Then pick up a hot and delicious large cheese and pepperoni pizza from Honeoye Falls Marketplace for only $12.99.
And we're rolling towards the 2.5-minute mark. Both teams with 3 timeouts. I wonder if you're Eastridge, if you might start using those if the Cougars keep running the ball.
So Cougars keeping that up back on the field. Handoff, Finn, and this time he'll be stopped. Ball comes out. Ball is on the turf, and Eastridge has it, waiting for the signal, and it is an Eastridge football. So a 3rd turnover by the HFL offense in this fourth quarter of play.
Let's just see when the ball came out.
Definitely looked to be out there. Finn was falling ahead.
Yeah, but the knee may have been down. I don't know if we can see it again and slow it down.
Maybe one quick look at it.
I'm talking like, here comes Finn off the tackle. That knee is down right there, and then there's a little bit of a delay, but the ball could have been moving. It's on the far side of the field.
It's tough to tell, but it looks like the ball may have been jarred loose already at that point, while it's still near his waist.
Yep, we obviously couldn't see that side of the field. So now Eastridge with the opportunity, 2:19 to go.
Eastridge, handoff to Thomas. Thomas straight ahead. Thomas at midfield and tackled, but that should be enough for an Eastridge first down.
Eastridge showing so much resilience here in the fourth quarter, just making plays on that defense, getting the turnovers. And HFL went up 8 points with 10:03 to go. Since then, Eastridge has really done the job on defense.
Eastridge hands off. Thomas. And Thomas, again, another first down and more. Trying to just break tackle after tackle, and he's at about the HFL 20-yard line. And man, how has the momentum in this game shifted? We were thinking maybe Eastridge was going to have to take some timeouts to get the ball back. But now it's the other way. Clock stops temporarily for the chains to reset. We're under 1:40, we'll say. Close to 1:40 in the fourth quarter.
We've had our eye on Thomas all night, and he's just gotten stronger as the game has gone on. He's been really a force in this fourth quarter, and here he goes again.
Thomas Again, takes 2 or 3 HFL defenders to bring him down. That was number 2 for the Cougars, Grady Goodburlett, who had to clean that one up. And we've got a timeout by HFL. Their first timeout brought to you by HFL. Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel has been proudly providing community news for 35 years since 1989. So we want to shout out the Sentinel. As we mentioned, Steve and I are in our 5th year here broadcasting for the Sentinel. And we are closing in on the end of this one. We're all knotted up at 17. For the folks who stuck around dealing with all the technical difficulties we've had.
They're getting their money's worth in the second half.
Absolutely.
Just a great game. Fantastic effort on both sides and big plays on both sides. And right now Eastridge has the momentum, but as this game is gone, just when you think one team has the momentum, the other team has made a play to steal it back.
Yeah, the Lancer defense has been generating turnovers in the fourth quarter, while the HFL defense has been able to force some key 4-and-outs. Lancers in HFL inside their 20-yard line. Calixto to the run, and he's going to be driven out of bounds. Nope, they're going to say his forward progress was stopped, so that will force HFL to take a timeout.
And another
They're
good job
second.
by Calixto, though. They had him hemmed in at the 20. He's still able to move forward for 4 more yards, get the ball down close to the 15.
So the Lancers had a field goal earlier in this one.
They did, and it was a 29-yarder. So right now, with the ball at the 16-yard line, you usually add 17 yards. It would be a 33-yard try if there's no positive yardage gained on this play. I mean, I think if you're Eastridge, though, the mentality is you want the end zone.
So 3rd and 7. We'll see what Eastridge does here. HFL down to 1 timeout.
I would anticipate the ball staying on the ground here. Eastridge has done a good job in the second half just pushing forward, and HFL down to its final timeout. We'll see.
3rd and 7. Handoff. And Eastridge is going to get closer. They're going to be inside the 15-yard line, maybe the 14, and that should be HFL's final timeout.
So Steven Masetta was the player who kicked the field goal in the first half.
And we are exactly at 1 minute, not 60 seconds. Go ahead, Steve. Start.
Yeah, no, he made it from 29 yards, so you would think that this would be about 31 yards. He made it with plenty of leg the first time, so I would think that this is a kick that the Lancers are confident in. But they've also been moving the ball on the ground. I anticipate seeing the field goal here, but we have to wait till they come out.
Yeah, 4th and about 4 for Eastridge. As they break their timeout huddle.
Just the way that Masetta is walking, it looks like they're going to set up for the kick.
So Cougars take their final timeout. Lancers will be attempting a field goal.
Calixto is the holder, Peter, just in case we see that or something goes wrong. Is the quarterback on the hold? And the way they're set up, it's going to be 29 yards.
So a 29-yard attempt off the right foot of Masetta. Hold, snap, up, kick is up, and it's no good. It's no good. He had the leg. The 2 referees underneath the goalpost had a perfect look at it, and they say no good.
So the Cougars escape right there. Let's see. Hey, we don't have a great angle. I don't know.
That's the one thing about really the only way you can tell is if you got a camera that's right underneath looking up, because anywhere on the field it can play tricks on you. So with 55.4 seconds left, Cougars no timeouts. They can try and find a way to get in field goal range themselves.
They can.
And do we know Gather Cole's range?
Well, we saw the kick down at this end earlier in the quarter. It looked like it would have been good from 40. So I would think that the Cougars probably need to get to the Eastridge 25 to consider the field goal.
So absolutely no timeouts left. They got to find a way to maybe try and work the sideline. Here's Meacham's just going to keep it himself. He'll get about 4 yards.
And looked like Meacham was going to have some time. Good job with the coverage by Eastridge. It really didn't have much of a place to throw. At the end of the first half, he was able to get Meisensall behind the defense for a big play that led to the Cougars' second touchdown. But good coverage there by Eastridge.
So only a gain of 2. Ball at the HFL 22. 48 seconds to go. HFL has no timeouts. Clock will stop temporarily upon first downs. Cougars can stop by going out of bounds or by clocking the ball. Empty set for the Cougars.
Don't be surprised if Eastridge brings pressure here.
Here's the snap. Meacham, quick toss to Yates. Yates makes the first man miss. He's going to try and get out of bounds to stop the clock. I don't think he got there, so clock will continue to run. Stops temporarily for the moving of the chains. So Cougars immediately running up to the ball here.
Chains are still not set. That's taking a lot of time.
So 1st and 10. Meacham to throw. Lofts one up to the near side. Yates is immediately dropped in the field of play. And we're at 20 seconds.
I think you want to clock it here.
Both teams scrambling. Yep, it looks like HFL with the indication that they're going to clock at 14 seconds. And just taking a lot of time off. And we are about 10 seconds.
So that right now you hope you have time for 2 plays if you're HFL. You want to get the first down and get out of bounds. So get around the 50-yard line and then be able to take one shot at the end zone for the winning score, maybe draw a penalty. And then worst case scenario if the Cougars has to be overtime. So ball security huge, especially the way things have gone late in the game.
So we got 3 receivers to the near sideline. Here's the pass, dropped by Meacham. Picks it up, just lofts it out there. That'll stop the clock and bring up 4th down. So with
looks
6
like maybe
seconds,
they were trying to set up the hook and lateral. You see Cam was there with Wool coming around the side to get to the outside.
I wonder if they're bringing. Looks like they're bringing a different formation out.
6.3 seconds is a lot of time to burn on a play.
So they're going to punt.
They're going to line up and punt formation.
That makes the most sense because, right, if they don't get it, and we saw the last play of the first half, which was an attempted Hail Mary. So they're just going to punt here, 4th and 7. Here's the punt. Ball's away. End over end kick. And it goes out of bounds with just a little bit of time left.
0.1 seconds left. 1/10 of a second.
So Eastridge will have one shot to do something pending any sort of penalties.
And unlike basketball, you can get a shot off in football in 1/10 of a second. So as long as the ball is snapped, the result of the play will be the result of the play. So Eastridge 61 yards away from the end zone. And definitely prevent defense for the Cougars. They have 3 deep safeties at the 25-yard line. Running another player on right now.
Yep, 22 for HFL checks in. That's Sam Martin. So Cougars with 3, potentially 3 down linemen. We'll see what
they rush. And Eastridge took a knee, so we're going to overtime, Peter.
So we go to overtime. We're still knotted up at 17 all.
And I believe the overtime format is, having read this last week, teams will get the ball. There will be a coin toss. Generally, the team that wins the coin toss will choose to be on defense. And teams will get the ball at the 20-yard line with a chance to get a first down or a touchdown. And they play it out until one of the teams prevails with a higher score.
So we'll have a coin toss here. HFL back-to-back overtime games.
Yep, and this is one that I think that when they look at the film, they feel that maybe they should have found a way how to finish it during the fourth quarter. But on the same token, just the resilience that Eastridge showed in finding a way to make some of those plays and get back in the game has been very impressive. So both coaches are out there for the coin toss too, I think, are representatives from the team, just to have the rules explained, because, as you said, the overtime is not super common in high school sports.
Yeah, and that's what they did a week ago between HFL and Greece Arcadia. Both coaches, actually only the coaches, came out before the start of overtime.
And actually, I was watching the Penfield Rush Henrietta game that went to overtime, and the referee was mic'd up, so you got to hear the conversation and hear him explain the rules. So if memory serves, they will start on the 20-yard line and just play it out. There's no rule like college football where after the second or third overtime you have to run 2-point conversions until somebody wins.
So we got free football here live on the Sentinel as both teams shake hands here before the start of overtime. As Neil Diamond rings out here in Honeoye Falls. Both crowds nervously waiting to see what's going to happen. It looks like HFL won the toss.
Anticipate the Cougars will go on defense first.
That way you know what you need.
And then Eastridge will have the choice of which end of the field they want to have the ball.
And HFL started with the ball first last week in overtime and never saw it again after they failed to get points on their first possession. So we will be operating, I believe, solely in the south end zone. We won't flip sides at all. We'll just solely be working our way south here in overtime. We'll see the Eastridge offense first. And as you said, Steve, you're correct. Ball will start at the 20-yard line. There will be no clock.
No clock.
Both teams will have one timeout.
Correct. And the only clock that matters is the play clock. You still need to get your play off within the allotted time.
Correct. So, Eastridge with the ball. First possession of overtime. Calixto under center. Hands off. Thomas, left side. And he's going to be met after a gain of about 1 yard.
Nice job there by Finn and Yates to close that hole and prevent Thomas from... That's the first time all night he hasn't fallen forward, I think. They were able to turn him around and limit that to a 2-yard gain.
So only a gain of about, we'll call it 2 yards. So it's 2nd and 8 for the Lancers. Trying to score on their first possession of overtime. Cougars are guaranteed a possession. Here's the handoff to Thomas. And this time he falls forward. Gain of about another 2.
Yep, it'll be 3rd and just over 5 yards to go. And you wonder if that missed field goal toward the end of regulation changes the mindset of the Eastridge staff. Certainly they're more than capable of picking up a first down here, but if they don't gain any yardage, do you try the field goal or is it go for it twice?
Yeah, he certainly had the leg on the attempt. It was from the opposite hash, or close to the opposite hash, so the right side of the field. Right now they're at the left. Pass play by Calixto. Steps up, pump fakes, works back to his left. Tries to toss one up towards the end zone, and that's knocked out of bounds by the Cougars.
Smart play by Goodberlet there. Put the ball where nobody could catch it in bounds. Now it's going to be 4th and 6. I would anticipate maybe Eastridge keeping the offense on the field here.
He was awfully close to the line of scrimmage. Looked like he worked his way backwards before he released it to get back behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, it looks like the kicking unit's coming out. So much, little do I know.
So, Lancers attempting another field goal. 1 for 2 tonight. This one's going to be
32 yards, 33 maybe with the spot.
Yeah, we'll call it 33. Low snap, kick up. And that one is wide.
That
no
one
good.
was wide left.
So the Cougars will
score
get
and
the
they
ball.
win.
Yeah, any score will win the game. Take another look at that. Had the lag, but
yeah, the first two seemed to come off the foot better. That one didn't seem to
and
come
you
off
wonder
his
if
foot
the
as well.
the snap played a factor in the timing of the operation, right?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of times people, when things go wrong, don't remember that it's not just a kicker. There's the snap and the hold and the blocking. And you sound like you've been in some special team meetings calling that the operation.
So Ezra Gathercole got the only points of the second half for this HFL offense. Of course, they're going to be trying to get a touchdown here to just finish off the Lancers, but he might have a shot to win the game as well.
Well, especially after last week losing in overtime, now the Cougars have a chance to win this game.
Meacham, and we got the play shut down. Was going to be a handoff to Ben Feinberg. We got too many men.
Well,
see some counting.
You see Nate Meacham counting. Too many or not enough? Oh, yep, there was Mizensaw on the far side of the field. And HFL was having some success later in the fourth quarter running the ball. Obviously, they were gaining yardage. Turnover took it away from them. But if you're Coach Russ now, you know that worst case scenario was double overtime. So you definitely have a lot of options here to win.
So we'll try this again. First down, HFL's possession here in the first overtime. Any score wins it. Meacham, hands off. Feinberg, straight ahead. He'll get about a yard.
And there was a hole there. That was a really nice tackle by Dietz for Eastridge. He got low, was able to get Feinberg by the ankle, because if Feinberg gets through there, it's probably a 6 or 7 yard gain. So limited that to a 1 yard gain. Maybe Holden Cam is the guy.
2nd and 8. Meacham to throw. Near sideline in the direction of Holden Cam.
He had been tough in the second half. He'd been open. Ran that little out route there. He and Steinhoff crossed. Steinhoff might have had something in the middle there too. But it's a quick read for Nate Meacham. Went to Cam, who's been reliable, and just did not connect.
So it depends on how aggressive HFL wants to get here, right? A field goal wins it. So, you know, do you just try and run the ball and get a couple more yards here, or do you try and...
Well, you try to get a first down, but you know that you have that in your back pocket. Knowing that you can't lose. And we got pre-snap there.
And another second half penalty by the Lancers. And this will be 5 free yards for this HFL offense. It'll go from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 3. And this
might change
play
the
sheet,
thinking. Yep.
The play sheet for offensive coordinator and head coach John Russ just changed dramatically by those 5 yards.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tighter bunch formation here. Maybe they will put it in the air and try and get that crossing route to the end zone, get somebody all alone.
And it's Harrison Houle in the backfield. Meacham to throw, finds Houle, and he's immediately dropped.
Lost yardage.
He'll lose yards.
So now I think it's field goal time.
So it is Ezra Gathercole time here in Honeoye Falls. He's had one field goal tonight. It was the same direction going south.
Nate Meacham, the holder, he will spot the ball at the 21-yard line,
Carson
31-yard
Meehan,
try.
the long snapper. As we've got a timeout.
Love that timeout call.
Trying to ice Gathercole. A little bit of strategy. Playing mind games.
Got to do it, though, right? I mean, this is potentially the last play of the game. You don't want to take a timeout home with you. No guarantee it'll mean anything, but why not try it? So you mentioned Gathercole. I mean, he's been impressive when we've seen him. I think the big thing is the operation, and we see Carson Meehan working on his snaps right there.
Meehan was our defensive player to watch, but
right now he's our special teams player to watch until
all three of those guys
are
right now the special teams player to watch.
Right in sequence.
We saw the low snap maybe affect the operation on the Lancers' attempt in their possession. Cougars got to keep it clean, and Ezra's got to do the rest. So this is going to be a 31-yard field goal. Ezra Gathercole has a chance here for the Cougars. Snap, hold, kick away. It's blocked. The Lancers get a paw on it. And we're going to second overtime period. We do have an injured Lancer on that play.
Just outstanding pressure by that Eastridge line made that field goal attempt just really tough. They broke through, were able to block it.
Let's take a look at that. And it looked like it was number 9. Was that number 9?
Came from the edge and got around.
Who got a hand on it, and I believe he's the one who might have gotten hurt there.
Well,
and
he's also got 2 interceptions. It's Troy Calkins.
Absolutely.
We remember who number 9 is. He's had a fantastic game.
Talk about putting your body on the line for the team. Makes the biggest play of the night so far for the Lancers. And in the second overtime, I believe both teams will flip.
Right. So
order. So
the Cougars will maintain possession.
Will come right back out on the field here. So the officials are talking things over with the head coach of the Lancers. I don't think there's a decision that the Lancers need to make. I think they are going to be on defense.
Right. I mean, that's usually what coaches desire. Your defense, let your defense go out and play first, and then you know what you need to get on offense.
So
unless Eastridge went unconventional here,
I don't know,
and opted to go on offense.
I don't know if they get a choice, but my understanding was that you flip for the second overtime. Again, high school rules might be a little different.
Maybe you don't flip, but you get the option to choose. And usually the choice is defense, but Coach Davidson wants to put his offense back out on the field.
So again, this is now the second overtime period. So this won't, this will not decide the game. HFL will have a chance here, as it's a handoff to Thomas, who's going to get a couple yards.
And he's getting tougher to tackle as this game pushes on into the second overtime. Owen Englert held on there. Still a gain of 4 for Eastridge, setting up a pretty nice situation of 2nd and 6. And it does seem, Peter, that the HFL defense has been on the field much more than the Eastridge defense, and you wonder if fatigue will start to kick in these overtime periods.
Second down play goes to Thomas, breaks the first tackle. And so that'll bring up 3rd and short.
So Englert's been fantastic tonight. And Calkins has been fantastic tonight. One of those guys should be the Class B Defensive Player of the Week next week. I think whoever it is will be probably determined by the outcome of this game.
So close to 3rd and 5. So maybe more of a 3rd and medium. See what the Lancers do. It's a pass play. Calixto to throw. Works back, and he's going to be nearly sacked.
Did they rule that a fumble or an incomplete pass? Incomplete pass. Okay. The referee was blocked from our view. Good job by the Cougars there getting their hands up. Youngstrom comes in, and it's Brian Finn that's there. Thomas was making a heady play, got the ball, might as well run forward till they tell you to stop.
Is this a field goal attempt, or are they going for it? Looks like they're in a huddle, offensive huddle, like they're going to be running an offensive play.
After 2 missed field goals on their last 2 drives, I think you get to the second overtime, you try a 3rd field goal.
Gave me a little head fake there.
Well,
okay.
So will the 3rd time be the charm here for Masetta?
So Masetta up, and that one's going to be short. No good. I don't know if an HFL player got a hand on that one, but certainly not enough leg into that one.
Well, there was a good rush by Finn, and there was a weird spin on the ball. Obviously, we're not on the field. We couldn't hear, but kind of looked to me like Brian Finn might have deflected that.
So now HFL 1st and 10, and we're in the second overtime. Second possession for the Cougars.
Stop
again,
us if we've been here before, right?
And again, same as last time, any score wins it. And at this rate, you kind of feel like a touchdown is the only guarantee.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Russ dials up one of his favorite crossing routes here to try and get a receiver open for the touchdown to just win it.
1st and 10. Meacham. Hands off. Finn straight ahead. Finn's going to get 3 or 4. So he ends up checking back in. He had the fumble there late in the 4th quarter. And coaches trust him, put him back in. Nice run there.
The coaches trust him, and I think they're also trying to build the confidence because you know that Brian Finn is a player that's going to be around for 2 more years. And sometimes young players make mistakes trying to do good things, and now Finn has another opportunity to help his team.
2nd and 7. 2 running back set for the Cougars. Hool comes out wide. High pass picked up by Meacham. Meacham looks to throw it. Works to his right and ends up just throwing it away.
And a good play by Meacham just to save the yardage there, not get the grounding penalty. Obviously, the snap was...
That may be grounding because I don't know. There's a... Yep, there it is.
Because he didn't get it back to the line of
scrimmage. He's got to throw that further down.
Yep.
That's not going to work at this level. So it's going to be intentional grounding. It's going to be a loss of a down, and it will bring the ball all the way back to, I believe, where he threw it.
Close to the 35-yard line. No, the umpire's going even further back.
So it's going to be 3rd and very long. And it looked like Meacham just was unaware that he had to maybe do that.
The whole play was off schedule from the beginning. You obviously you don't want to take a sack, but at that point it's complete scramble mode.
3rd and 28.
And you can't. I mean, if there's a turnover, a defensive touchdown could win it from Eastridge. So you got to protect the ball too. So we're going trips to the top of the field. And then we got Steinhoff at the bottom.
So here we go. 3rd and 28. Meacham to throw. Meacham under immediate duress. And he's well past the line of scrimmage on that one. So that'll come back. But Keaton Yates unaware.
Right.
He was maybe 3 or 4 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage is the 38. Meacham rolls out. He's at the 35 when he throws that. Good job by the officials getting that call right. But the HFL had receivers open. Meacham bought time. So even though 3rd and 28 is not probably Coach Russ's favorite play, there's always an opportunity.
So that's only here's the good news for HFL. That's only a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the throw. So because he was so many yards downfield, it's actually only going to be 4th and 29.
So they lose the down on it.
They lose the down, but they only lose 1 yard when it's all said and done.
So now we saw a Hail Mary from Eastridge at the end of the first half. I think we'll see one from HFL here.
Trips to the near side, Meacham to pass. Lofts one over the middle, and that's going to be in and out of the hands of the defender. So incomplete, turnover on downs, and that means we're going to a 3rd overtime.
HFL trying to run some crossing routes there over the middle. Eastridge defense was laying back. Easy pass breakup for the Lancers. So now the interesting thing will be, will Eastridge choose to come out on offense again? Or will they opt to play defense?
I don't know. It looks like HFL defense is out there already. So it looks like, I mean, again, I don't think there's a choice. I think it's just however we had that first overtime period, and we're going to stick with it. So 1st and 10 for Eastridge.
Round 3.
3rd time's the charm, maybe. Eastridge to throw. Lofts one up towards the end zone, and that's going to be
incomplete.
Incomplete. Couldn't get a sign on that, good sight on that, but there is a flag in the end zone. And missed the official there, but yeah, it looked like it was being called pass interference by the defense. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Half the distance to the goal.
Or correct, yeah, half the distance. So ball goes to the 10.
Fresh set it down, so basically Eastridge sets up 1st and goal.
So 1st and 10, ball from the 10. Hand off to Thomas. Thomas inside the 5. Tackled at about the 2-yard line.
Just straight ahead run, good blocking. Got Schneeberger in front, pushing the pile. Thomas falling forward as he did all night. 2nd and goal at the 2.
2nd and 2. Got to think this one's going right back to Thomas.
Well, I change it now.
Calixto in under center. And it's a quarterback sneak.
And he's in.
And the official on the far sideline says it's a touchdown for the Lancers. So, do they go for the point after or the 2-point conversion?
Calixto there, just nice poise, followed his lineman into the end zone. Penalty obviously played a role, giving Eastridge a 1st and goal at the 10. 2 plays later, they have their 2nd lead of the night.
And so they do line up for the point after attempt to make it a 7-point lead. Here's the kick up, and it's good. So 24-17 is the score here now at HFL, as the Cougars have to get a touchdown and a point after to force a 4th overtime. If not, Eastridge will walk away from Honeoye Falls with a major win.
A very, very resilient and gutty performance by both teams. Eastridge with the comeback in the 4th quarter now takes the lead in the 3rd overtime. Cougars with a chance to tie or win.
1st and 10. Ball at the 20. Meacham to throw. Meacham to pass. Throws it. Holden Cam. Ball comes out. They're going to say incomplete.
Big hit there by the Eastridge defense. Cam with a nice route. I think it's Masetta that comes in with the hand across, knocks the ball out. Incomplete.
Yep, as you called it, great break up there by Masetta. Cam unable to complete the catch. Results in 2nd and 10.
It's almost fortunately for the Cougars that it wasn't a catch, because that fumble would have likely ended the game.
Meacham from the gun. Collects the snap to throw. Throws it. Caught. And that's number 8. His favorite target. Steinhoff is inside the 10-yard line. That's a new set of downs for HFL, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Our bakers arrive in the wee hours of the morning to craft HFMP's signature scratch donuts.
Who's going to go to work first? Are they going to go to work before we're done here tonight, or no? Are we going to beat the bakers to work?
We'll see the way that this one's been going. We might be playing this one well into the late evening hours, although Cougars in a goal-to-go situation to try and tie this one up and force a 4th overtime.
Trips to the top of the screen. They run to Hool a lot out of this formation.
Meacham to throw. Looks, surveys. He's got some grass in front of him if he wants to run it. He's going to try and go for it, and he'll be marked short by about 2 yards.
Good play by Meacham there that extended the play. Nobody really cleared open, so he's got to make the commitment to run. He's able to turn his shoulders forward. The defensive backs come up, stop him just short of the goal line. HFL, 2nd down from about the 3?
We'll call it 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2.
So the Cougars will have likely 3 more opportunities to get this touchdown. And then they'll have a decision to make if they score. HFL comes out, 3 receivers to the right. Hool to Meacham's right. Snap, design quarterback run. Meacham straight ahead. And he's going to get back just to about the line of scrimmage.
Cougars, they've done all night, spread the field. You knew the ball was probably going to go to Meacham or Hool. Eastridge, there was a little collision in the backfield there that kind of disrupted the play. And now it's 3rd and goal from the 2.
And Brian Finn checks in for HFL. You wonder if they are maybe trying to get a power run play here called. Meacham's not much of a power runner.
No.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Hool's the lead blocker here and the handoff goes to Finn. That'd be my guess. 3rd and 2. HFL in a must-score situation. Must score a touchdown. Handoff goes to Finn. Finn is met and stopped. So we are going to come down to a 4th down play here for the Cougars.
And Coach Russ signals that he's going to call his timeout. Good job by that Eastridge line. Got the penetration. The forward progress just wasn't there. And Coach Russ does not take his timeout.
Nope. No timeout taken by the Cougars, so this will be the game if HFL can't score. HFL must get in the end zone. Meacham to throw. Steps up. Lofts it. Intercepted by the Lancers, and that's the game. Eastridge comes into HFL and knocks off the Cougars. Both teams will move to 4 and 3 after this one, and this could impact the final sectional standings. Still a week to go here, but wow, what a game. Took 3 overtimes, and that's going to be the final here from HFL. Score is 24-17. Luke, do we have that game-winning score for the Lancers in overtime?
And maybe the interception. But what a game by both teams. So there's the winning touchdown. Quarterback keeper by Benny Calixto. And as they go through the handshake line, I mean, just a fantastic high school football game. Eastridge showed a ton of resilience coming back from being down 8 and with the Cougars having the ball in the 4th. And this play was a big play, too. This interception, Cougars were maybe looking to close the game out. And a great play by number 9, Troy Calkins. And then right after that, Calixto avoids the sack, gets the ball to Bryson Thomas. Short pass reception takes it down to the 2. Put Eastridge in position to get the tying touchdown.
For our cheerleaders and varsity players. See you next week.
And so final score 24-17. As we said, both teams will move to 3-3 next week. Eastridge traveling to Monroe. Tough schedule to end the season. They were at Batavia, then tonight they were at HFL, and now they'll be traveling to Monroe to close out the season. Meanwhile, Cougars back at home next week against Virtus. We'll be carrying that game live. Steve, any thoughts before we sign off?
Just a fantastic game, Peter. We thought that we would get a good one, and seemed several times that either team was in the position to win. Eastridge ended up making more plays at the end, forced the turnovers, and then that huge goal line stand at the end to preserve the victory. If you're the Cougars, it's a tough pill. It's back-to-back overtime losses the last 2 weeks. Coach Russell will get his team together. He's got them together on the field right now. I'm sure he's telling them that he's proud of them. They played well. Keep their heads up and get ready for next week.
So we want to thank everyone else for sticking with us through the technical difficulties of the first half. This one turned into an instant classic. Want to give a special thank you to our crew tonight, camera operator Chris Carosa, instant replay operator Luke Mendrick, on graphics tonight, Ava Jackson. I'm Peter Carosa alongside Steve Bradley. Thanks so much for tuning into the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel live on YouTube. Until next week, enjoy.